Welcome to the ISB show, continuing coverage of the European World Cup qualifiers. My goodness, Rahi, is this jersey that I am wearing right now need to be framed or something? But we were on the Norway train from the beginning. We're going to get into that match and a lot of other matches. Of course, you're wearing a jersey of a team that won as well today. Let's get into it, my friend Rahi, and we're going to start off with the Norwegians, who dominated Israel, are one win away from the World Cup. Let me show where things stand. First things first, in this group, there it is. Look at that goal difference, my friend. 26 goals.
Six.
Yeah.
That might be a record. I don't know. We have to look into that because, my goodness, this is a train that just keeps on rolling. Erling Haaland missing 2 penalties, the retry, but he still gets a hat trick. That's how crazy this team is. Antonio Nusa doesn't get the goal in the end, but the own goal. It's, I know Norway didn't want to play this game. They should have just saved us the trouble and not played this game because it would have been the same thing. Wasted everyone's time. There was only ever one team in this game. That was Norway. This Norwegian team, my goodness, these are not accidents. Think about how many goals they're scoring. Yes, not against the cream of the crop, but they beat Italy 3-0. This team is on fire. Be careful, world. This stuff adds up.
Yeah. So I want to say we told you so to everyone out there, but I always called it way back when. I said, and I'll put that video as at the end of this video in the suggested videos. I'll put that video where we predicted who would win this group. And I remember I picked Norway to win this group. And the reason being, I just want to say that, but in all seriousness, I agree with you. This is not a joke what's happening. These scores are adding up, like you said. And I'll tell you what is so interesting about this team. They didn't have Odegaard today. Oscar Ball played very well, filled in the role very well. But what is the beauty of this team is because the three up front are so deadly, that's Nusa, Sorloth, and Haaland. The defense has gotten better too. They've gotten better, and Sanderberger and the midfielders are able to do multiple things. And this is how dangerous the team is. So when you have Odegaard, you have a creative midfielder. That's one of the most creative midfielders in the world. When you don't have him, these guys can just surpass the midfield and go directly to the three up front, and you have a problem with that. So this team can kill you in so many ways.
And can we say one thing about Haaland? I know there's been some conversation in the past. He's just a big man up front. He just scores goals. Doesn't affect the game. Look at what he's doing. It's not just the goals. It's the runs in behind. This guy is impossible to play against. And we showed that with Man City early on. When was he going to show with Norway? He always showed it against some inferior opponents. But my goodness, this man, he's going to set the World Cup on fire.
He's going to set the World Cup on fire. Now, I'm going to say it again, like I said, guys, you are going to the World Cup. We will not officially, just so you can go and officially celebrate after the Estonia match, we will wait till after the Estonia match, assuming some bizarre thing like full moon, some bizarre thing happens. I don't see it happening. I think you should be booking your tickets here right now.
Not just talking about the World Cup. Is there a team that looks better in Europe? Yes, this team, right? And England and these other teams. But in that second tier, third tier, no one's playing as well as this Norwegian team. Denmark's been playing well. But I don't know, my friend. Norway could be a real danger because they're going to play teams like Israel in the World Cup. Teams from Asia, right? Teams from CONCACAF. Who knows?
Yeah, this is real deal. We'll talk extensively, obviously, about the Norwegian team, and we'll as between now and the World Cup. Congratulations to Norway. My goodness, we're going to talk a lot more about your team all the way through. I feel in a sense like I can't say it's my team because I'm not Norwegian, but I was been on this bandwagon for a while, and so I feel a sense of accomplishment with this as well. All right, so let's go forward. So that's of course that group. And then Rahi, let's talk about this team here, the team whose jersey you're wearing, right? And that's of course España, as they're saying. Things have closed in a little bit because Turkey won as well, so it's not done. And because Turkey put a lot of goals past Bulgaria, the goal difference is shrinking a little bit. But this team is continuing to win, and you're off to Spain very soon.
I'm off to Spain myself, the beautiful city of Barcelona. But I have to say, I know Turkey is good result for them here in this window. But in that first game against Spain, we saw the gap in quality, the difference between these two teams. This Spanish team is incredible. A very, very dangerous Spanish team. We saw them, what they did in the Euros. I don't think there's any question they're going to walk to the top of this group. But good result for Turkey.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Have you seen everything you need to see from this Spain team, or is there anything more you need from this team to start saying, okay, are they the number one team at the World Cup?
Yeah, it's a good question, right? Because if you think about it in Europe, England gave them trouble in the final of the Euros. England's a tricky team. Aside from that, who's better than Spain?
Yeah, that's the great goal. You've seen Germany is struggling a little bit in the World Cup qualification campaign. England, of course, is a tough team. But look, I think this is the team right now to beat. You could say Argentina maybe as well in the world if you're looking at the world as a whole. But right now, Spain is getting through and making things happen. So we'll talk more about Spain maybe when you get there, a little bit of that flavor, and talk a little bit more about the team there.
Yeah. And notice we didn't talk about France. I mean, France has been fine, but they haven't impressed in the way that Spain has, or even England, to be honest.
And France, again, like a little bit of a lackluster performance in the first half against Azerbaijan. So that's kind of what happens. I want to finish off here because there was a very important situation in terms of a team that won that maybe went under the radar. And that, of course, is Albania. And why did it matter so much is because things look like this. And of course, guess who they beat? Oh, I don't know, just their rivals, Serbia, again in a match that was away in Serbia,
Yeah.
And this is an unbelievable result for Albania. Congratulations to them.
And we have to say that, right? Because if you don't understand what it must have been for these players to go play in Serbia to get this victory, it's a monumental victory for Albania, not just in the context of the group because it's huge, but in the context of it's a very difficult place to play. Much more difficult if you're Albanian. It's just an insane rivalry because of all the political, contextual, surroundings. But in the end, I'm sure the Albanians are super happy to get this huge result. And really, really, it could be the big difference, right? And who gets second in this group.
Yeah, it's very close. It's very tight in there. Of course, England is going to waltz through. But in that sort of, who's going to grab that second place, Mr. Minaj, of course, this goal scorer today is probably a national hero today. We have some good Albanian friends out there, and so I'm sure they're celebrating and having a good time today. It's going to come down to the wire, Rahi, though. It is going to come down to the wire. I just showed that group, but here it is again. It is getting very, very tight in there. Of course, Serbia has a game at hand, but this victory is huge. It's a huge win with regard to that, and you just never know. You never know which game is going to matter and what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, and that's if you look at Albania now twice against Serbia, right? They take 4, which is a good points haul against a very tricky team, and these are the two teams competing for second.
Yeah. So we shall see what happens with that. If you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel. Let us know your thoughts out there, all you fans of all the different teams, whether it's Spain, whether it's Albania, whether it's Norway. Let us know how you feel about the matches that happened. We will see you after the next round of World Cup qualifiers. Keep watching the beautiful game. See you soon.